Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the season premiere of Supernatural, Lost and Found. And I think this was a really good episode for bookending what happened at the end of last season and kind of starting us kind of fresh and kind of seeing the direction that we're going to be going with this season. So, this episode starts off pretty much right at the end of last season. We see Jack and Sam kind of like talking, and like Jack's like, father, trying to figure out who his father is. He's searching for that, and he's like, but Sam's just like confused. It's like, holy shit, there's this big ass dude here. What's going on? And then of course we also get shots of then Dean standing over Cass's body, and we see the angel wings burned into the ground, so Cass is dead, and that really sucks. And seeing the like sadness and pain on Dean's face is really kind of powerful there. So, of course, we then see that, like, Dean gets his gun and goes inside, and, of course, Sam's like, I'm not your father, kind of getting into it, but then, like, Dean comes in, and his first reaction is to try and shoot him, and Sam's like, no, don't do that. And then, of course, Jack unleashes his powers and does this scream that kind of like has him float in midair. Then once he's done, it like shoots them both to the walls and they get knocked out. It's like, holy shit. So we don't know if that was like more of a defense mechanism or if it was on purpose. So of course, we then see a replay of the Mary and Lucifer scenario, but in this case, instead of Mary punching Lucifer and falling into the portal, she's then set on fire, and we see Dean like freaking out and seeing Mary again on the ceiling, and it's just one of his nightmares as he and Sam wake up the next morning after being knocked out by Jack. So they're like, get outside, trying to figure out what's going on. Dean's like thinking, like, can he teleport? Does he have wings? And Sam's like, I don't know, and they're just trying to figure out how to find him. So of course, then we see Jack naked, walking pretty much alone, and then he comes upon this restaurant, Pirate Pete's Jolly Treats, and we see him going towards it, and then we see like the employees going, like doing their stuff in there. One of them's pretty much getting the food ready, one of them's messing with the menu, putting butt in everything, and the other employee's like, dude, why do you do this? You're gonna get fired. And like, yeah, I've already been fired 7 times. My mom's going out with the dude who owns the place. What of it? So, of course, then we see that Jack goes up to the drive-thru portion and is saying, father. They switch on the camera and be like, what the hell's going on? See, he's naked. And then the one dude whose mom's going out with the guy, Clark, is like, alright, I'm going to call my mom since she's a cop. And, of course, it's like, okay, what's going on here? So, of course, we see Sam and Dean driving, and he's like, alright, do we have the holy oil ready and everything? He's like, what? We're going to need kind of like everything. And he's like, don't we have to kind of take stock yet? Like, yeah, Crowley's dead, Kelly's dead, Cass is... And Dean doesn't say it at first, and then he's like, mom's gone. We've got the devil's kid, who's hit puberty in like 30 seconds flat. And he's like, well, we don't know the whole situation. You did try and shoot him. He's like, yeah, we shoot monsters. That's what we do. Showing how this is going to kind of go. Sam being more in the try of like, hey, we shouldn't assume that he's bad. The nature versus nurture kind of stuff. Where Dean is just like, he's a monster, gotta kill him. And it's like, since it's a Nephilim and you don't know exactly what you need to kill a Nephilim, you kind of have to work that out first. So, of course, they're kind of just, like, fighting over that, and, of course, Dean finally admits that Cass is dead, and saying to Sam, you know he is. So, then we get back to the restaurant. The cop comes up, her name's Christine, and she's like, listen, I'm just here to help. What's going on here? And then we get like this weird kind of smile from Jack, as that's where it's cut at too. So of course, then we get back to the house and we see the 2 angels are kind of like searching around, looking for Jack, of course. The one woman angel's like, well, mother's upstairs, that's about it. And they're like talking about Cass. And the woman angel is like, well, he deserved better. And the other dude's like, no, he didn't. And it's like, okay, so we just gotta find him. Alright, let's keep searching. And then we get to the police station. Everybody's thinking that Jack's kind of weird because he's adjusting the clothes. Pretty much lost and found stuff. It's like, it's kind of interesting, like, what the hell are these shoes and all that? And of course, they're trying to get information from him. What's his name, mother, father, all that kind of stuff. Admitting that his mother is in heaven and that his father was supposed to be here. And of course, they're trying to help him, like, oh, you got cell phone, address, email, any of that? He's like, not really. So she's like, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take your thumbprint, try and match in your database, and kind of go from there. And of course, they do it, and then we see that Jack, like, licks the, like, fingerprint ink off of his finger, and of course, during this whole thing going on, the Clark is like, what the hell's going on with this kid? Because Christina has, like, gone off at this point to, like, search for this stuff, and he's like, dude, what is going on with you? What are you on? Are you high? He's like, I'm not high. He's like, dude, what are you on? I'm like, on a chair, on the floor, on Earth. And he's like, dude, and he starts running through this, and he's like, no, I'm not stoned, I'm not anything like that. And he's like, what I really am is hungry. And at this, the way it was shot, it's like, oh God, is this another Amara situation where he eats souls or whatnot? So it's like, okay. So, of course, we get back to the pirate restaurant, and Sam and Dean show up. Is like, well, Dean is just like, this is stupid. Why would he be here? He's like, alright, we'll check out if he's been here, but I think he's pretty much teleported somewhere else, and like, Chicago's on fire already. And it's like, okay, whatever. And he's like, I'm gonna call Jody, get an APB on him, do all that kind of stuff. So, of course, Sam goes in, and we see this drunk lady pretty much trying to order French fries too early, and he's like, God, why do I have to deal with this? And Sam's like, well, have you seen a dude kind of your height, naked? He's like, yep. And he's like, okay, so he was here, he's in police custody, he pretty much gets the information to call her, and of course, he gets in contact with Christine. So, like, alright, yeah, we got him, we'll hold him, and she's freaking out because looking at his thumbprint, it's like, what the fuck, nothing in the database. She's like, what's going on here? So, of course, we see Dean, because he had left the car, and he's coming back, his hand's injured, and we don't know how that happened or whatnot, but we know Dean, so he was probably very angry about, like, Cass and all that, and probably went to punch something. So, of course, he's back at the car, and the drunk lady's talking to him, and just, at first, it's like, talking about, like, a roommate who would do all these stupid things, break things, and just be a giant super bitch, pretty much. And it's like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't give a crap about this story. Okay, whatever. So, of course, Sam comes back out, from the restaurant. They get off of the car, and they go to the police station. So, we get into a kind of cool little bit where we see Christine, and the lights start flickering, and it looks very ominous. But, of course, she gets to the lounge, and we see that Clark and Jack are just sitting there eating candy bars. And Clark's like, dude, I don't think he's ever had a candy bar before, and he really freaking likes it. And seeing Jack being like, yeah, I really like this stuff. He's like, he's just a kid. I mean, he's not even a day old, and granted, he's pretty much late teens, early 20s kind of build, and he commands English very well. And granted, he doesn't completely understand the world around him or his powers, but he doesn't seem like he's trying to be a bad guy. Everything he has done up until this point has mainly been more of a defense mechanism as being directly threatened. So, it's kind of cool to see these kind of moments to see what kind of character he is at this stage. So, of course, he goes to show off his power, goes to the vending machine, touches it, and pretty much uses his powers to shake out more candy bars and everything. Like, yeah, okay. And, of course, Christine's like, how do you do that? He's like, man, I don't know. And then you get these voices in his head, which I'm thinking, hey, Angel Radio, and it's really kind of like debilitating to him. He doesn't understand what to do with it or how to, like, block it out. So, of course, it's freaking him out. He accidentally flicks Christine into the vending machine as he's, like, going down through the corridors, and the lights are blasting out and everything. And then he, like, gets back to where he was held and sees that Dean's there. And, of course, he's thinking, oh, he's coming to, like, kill me again. And then he, like, goes down, and we see that Sam has tased him. And, of course, Christine comes in and, like, hold on, what the hell's going on? And Sam and Dean, like, raise their hands and everything. It's like, holy shit. So we get back into it, and we see Sam's in a cell with Jack, who's knocked out. And Dean pretty much gives the rundown to Christine. They hunt monsters. That's their job. She makes the quick, like, what are you, superheroes? And he's like, nope, I'm just a guy doing a job. Pretty much running through the usual spiel that happens whenever somebody is introduced to what the boys do. So, of course, we then get back to Sam and Jack in the cell, and at first, Jack's, like, ready to, like, fight, and, like, Sam's like, take it easy. Like, okay, I'm not here to hurt you. And he's like, you already did. He's like, yes, I did, and I'm sorry. Like, are you alright? And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. He's like, when I'm scared, those kind of things happen, trying to explain what's going on with everything that was happening with his powers. And he's like, why were you scared? He's like, the voices, they were loud, they were angry. And he's like, can you hear them now? And he's like, no. Okay. So he sits and he's like, I'm sorry. And he's like, what? Can you tell them I'm sorry? And he's like, oh, that's pretty cool. He did an action to Christine and Clark, and he's like, listen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. That's not something that Lucifer would usually do. So that's a good point. So, of course, I really like Sam pretty much trying to, calmly talk to Jack, showing the difference between him and Dean. And now, granted, Dean was not in a good place. He had lost Cass, he had lost his mom, and to an extent, he had lost Crowley. Now, granted, Crowley is kind of iffy, but he has lost even more of his support network, so he was not in a good place. But, granted, Dean's usual thought process is to shoot monsters first, ask questions later. So, he's talking to him, he's like, okay, we can do that. Jack, how are you, how you are right now? You're not even a day old, you know English, and he's like, well, my mother taught me. And he's like, so you talked to her? And he said something very interesting. He said, I was her. Now, I don't know if that'll be explored in more depth, but it made it sound more that it was more of a, he absorbed aspects of her, or, could control her or whatnot. That's kind of, I would really like to know more about that if they, expand upon that throughout the season, because that's a crazy kind of thing for, the Nephilim to be able to be the mother. That's kind of crazy and could definitely explain why he's able to command English and has at least a good amount of knowledge about, not a good amount of knowledge, but at least enough knowledge about the world to, walk around, try and find things, interact with it, even though he himself has not walked through that process before. That's kind of a crazy, creepy thing. So he's like, alright, what about your powers? Did somebody teach you that too? And he's like, no. He's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's like, I'm me, but I'm not me when he's doing it. And he's like, okay, alright. Do you remember that you, opened a door before you were born? And the way he looked when he was talking about it and trying to figure it out was kind of crazy. You gotta hand it to this kid who's playing Jack. I really like how he's able to convey the newbornness of Jack and the duality of, the seriousness that he can do and the complete, innocence that he can have. And, him saying, yes. And Sam's like, could you do it again? And he's like, I don't, I have to find my father. He's gonna protect me. He's like, listen to me. It's not really Lucifer's thing. He's like, no, that's not my father's name. My father's name is Castiel. And it's like, holy shit. And he's like, what? He's like, my mother said that he would keep me safe, that the world's dangerous, that I couldn't be a baby or a child. That's why he had to grow up so fast and be pretty much late teens, early 20s. It's like, holy shit. He's like, that's why I chose him to be my father. It's like, damn, Cass. Shit. So, of course, Sam looks really sad, and he's like, where is he? And he's like, he's dead. And Jack looks pissed off about that. He's like, shit. Then, of course, we see Clark outside, and then the drunk girl comes up with the two angels and pretty much sets off that. So, Dean is like, alright, we're good to go. Talk to the mom, gave her the talk and everything, so we can get out of here. And we can do whatever we need to with Damien here. And he's like, listen, we don't need to do that. And, of course, before they, really get into it about him not being evil and everything, the drunk lady angel pretty much has Clark hostage, and we then get Dean and Christine kind of messing with that because Sam and Jack are still in the cell. So, of course, the angel woman is like pretty much saying, alright, you know what? I'll let this guy go. Christine, you just gotta shoot Dean because she hates Dean and pretty much thinks of her as the whole Becky situation. And it's like, well, Dean's like, well, it takes one to know one being a giant super bitch. So, of course, while this is going on, the other two angels rip through the door and pretty much go after Sam and Jack, using the angel radio to incapacitate Jack while this whole fight starts going on. Sam trying to hold off the two angels but getting his ass whooped and getting all bloody, and then Dean fighting the other angel who had stabbed Clark, and of course Christine's trying to take care of that. Now granted, Dean is is able to handle his own a little bit better against this angel, but he still gets his ass beat, but, well, not beat, but he still is not able to handle her too effectively because he's caught on the back foot. He does use like this coat rack that gets like beat to hell. And of course the other two angels are almost able to take Jack out, but of course since they bloodied up Sam, he had made a mark and pretty much banished them, which, interestingly enough, doesn't really affect Jack at all, and instead just kind of like takes down the angel radio in his head. And he's like, okay there. So of course, Dean had pretty much got hold of the woman angel and was like pretty much trying to figure out why they wanted him. He's like, well, golden ticket, he can do just about anything. And he's like, anything? He's like, oh, sorry, Castiel's dead. Dead. There ain't bringing that back. So of course, she pretty much gets out of the headlock and is pretty much going to get Jack. So of course, when Sam had banished the angels, one of them dropped the angel blade, and he's pretty much going out to protect, and she's like, pretty much makes off like she's about to give up, but says, like, you know what, if we can't have him, no one can, and stabs Jack in the heart with an angel blade. So of course Sam goes up, takes her out, and we're like, oh shit, what's going on? But as we see, Jack's able to take the blade out, and they're like, are you okay? He's like, I'm fine. So the angel blade did nothing to him. He got stabbed right in the heart by an angel blade, nothing happened. He's like, oh shit. So of course, then we see the kind of, after we see like them freaking out about that, we see Clark and Christine kind of like getting in an ambulance, going on to the hospital and everything, and them kind of like talked about how, okay, the angel radio is what's setting them on fire. Sam pretty much brings up the idea of bringing him back to the bunker, and Dean agrees, but not for the reasons that Sam would like, saying that we need to take him out. And until we find out a way to take him out, he's our responsibility, and at least at the bunker, the only two he can hurt are us. So, of course, they then go back to the house, and they're pretty much trying to figure out what to do. It's like, Sam's like, you know what, we don't have to do this, we can call Chuck, we can call God, and he's like, don't you think I tried that? So then we go back to the scene to see how Dean injured his hand. And we see him praying to God that they need help, that you went off and you left us and you said Sam and me would be able to handle it, and we didn't. We lost everything, and I want you to bring him back, okay? You gotta bring back Cass, Mom, bring back all of them, even Crowley. And it was really cool to have Dean put Crowley in there too, because even though Crowley's been a gigantic pain in everybody's ass, whenever it really came to from push to shove, he always helped the Winchesters out. And it was cool to have Dean include him in that and see him just so kind of beaten up with that and saying, like, after everything you've done, you owe us, you son of a bitch. And you come down here right now and you make it right, and he like opens his eyes and sees that he's not there and just punches a sign up the door, and then he adds that please, that anguish kind of please to help us. And I was like, damn, man, because this is big in affecting Dean. Cass dying to him is almost as bad as Sam dying, because Cass is pretty much a third Winchester brother, and how he went out and everything was just, it really affected Dean. I mean, it's also affecting Sam, but like, Dean and Castiel have always been the closer of the pair, and they just did a really good job of conveying that in this episode. So, of course, we go back to the house, and he's like, God's not listening. He doesn't give a damn. So they pretty much get ready. We see Jack touching Kelly's body, and we see Dean mourning over Castiel's body and tying up the chute and everything, and pretty much getting the funeral pyre ready. So, of course, Sam asks if Jack wants to say anything. He's like, what do you say? He's like, you say thank you, you say sorry, and you hope there's somewhere better where there's no sadness or pain, and you say goodbye. And it was just really kind of effective how Sam was able to, like, convey that and everything. And then Dean's, like, saying goodbye to Cass, Kelly, Crowley, goodbye, Mom. And, like, Sam's like, we don't know if she's dead. And he's like, she's dead. Lucifer would have killed her the moment he realized he's trapped. Now, here's where I don't think Dean truly understands Lucifer. He thinks that Lucifer would just kill off, that he would just fly off the handle like that. Lucifer operates under the handle that if you get at him, he will torture you first and then make the death slow and painful. That's something that I think that Sam also realizes a little bit. Now, granted, he's not thinking it completely clearly, but I'm like, Dean, you realize what he did to Rowena. Like, he beat on her, like, as he said at the end of last season, he beat on her until the white meat showed and then burned her for good measure. He took his time. He's not going to be one to just, if somebody fucks with him in any capacity, he is not one to let that go unchallenged. He will dig in the worst way possible. So it's like, okay. So, of course, we see them light the pyre and everything, and then we go to the other world and get confirmation that Mary's alive. She's running away from Lucifer. He's pretty much toying with her, saying, you do know I can fly, right? And she's like, alright, then why don't you kill me now? And then He-Man's like, okay. And then pretty much throws her at a spear, but he, like, stops her, and he's like, maybe not. Maybe I need you. And then it ends. It's like, see, Lucifer could probably use her or something to get back to the other world. His objective is to get to his son, and also get everybody that fucked him over. That's kind of how he works. So, I really like how this sets up pretty much Sam and Dean having to be, like, parents to a Nephilim and try and teach it right from wrong, and Sam having to be the one to probably fight with Dean to make sure to, like, listen, we just have to teach him what's right and wrong. Now, granted, he probably realizes that if something goes wrong, it's going to be on them and they're going to have to be the ones to stop it. But you got to give the kid a chance. Jack's not born evil. He has to choose it and willingly do it. It's like, yeah, that's why I'm like, Dean, you've got to watch out. Now, granted, he's usually been in the position of taking out the monsters. So, of course, that's going to be an interesting part of this season. And then the other interesting part is to see how and when Lucifer will come back and what the repercussions are going to be with that. Because then, what's Jack going to do? Is he going to fight Lucifer? Will he be in a position to fight Lucifer because he does not view Lucifer as his father? Because, if anything, I would think that he would be very antagonistic against him because they would probably tell Jack that Lucifer is the one that killed Castiel. And Castiel was supposed to be his father and look out for him. So he's probably going to be like, screw you. And that's going to be interesting to see if they can, what's going to come out of that. So I'm really happy with what they were able to do with this episode and how tightly it was with what it was trying to convey with all this stuff with Jack, where Sam and Dean are at this point, and where we're going to be going forward in the season. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.